Welcome to Latte with a Lawyer, a podcast dedicated to bringing you the stories of some of America's most successful lawyers, figuring out what makes them tick, how they creatively solve problems, and how others aspiring to be them can follow in their footsteps.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Latte with a Lawyer. I'm your host, Jonathan Brickman, and this morning we have with us Brandon Schwartz, and this is his law firm, Schwartz Law Firm. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Jonathan. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Latte with a Lawyer, so we got to start with what's your morning beverage of choice to get started?
Well, right now I'm just drinking straight espresso. I like espresso. My wife kind of got me hooked on this coffee with heavy cream and sugar-free vanilla.
Okay.
But if it was one choice, I'd say espresso.
Espresso, excellent. By the way, I'm sure many people have told you this. You don't look like you're old enough to even be married.
Yeah, well, and actually it's my second. I got married during after my first year of pro hockey and divorced during my first year of law school. And then I got married to my wife in 2012, and she's absolutely amazing. She's the one that keeps our house going, keeps our daughters getting everywhere, and I couldn't do what I do without her.
Oh, nice. But you're very youthful. I mean, you look like you could be 15.
Thank you.
And you played hockey. You played professional hockey. That's amazing.
I did, yeah.
You're from Minnesota, obviously.
From Minnesota originally, yep.
And that's obviously big hockey play. I'm from Boston, which is also a big hockey place. I don't think it's as good as Minnesota, though, is it?
So there was a big game last night then between the Gophers and Boston in the Frozen Four. Yeah, I mean, I started skating when I was 2 because hockey is kind of life here, and
Right.
ended up playing junior hockey in Sioux City where we won a national championship, and I got a full ride to Michigan Tech for hockey, and that's where I played my college.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, my son was a hockey player, and it's funny, we moved down from DC. I live in South Florida, and I thought he'd be the best kid in the ice. Like, who skates in South Florida? But it's amazing. The kids that do skate are good, and they've gone on to pretty high levels of hockey. So he ended up dropping out, but
It's really been amazing to watch the growth of the game in some what you would call non-traditional hockey states, right? With Florida, California, and Arizona. And at one point, our law firm, Schwartz Law Firm, is my dad and I, and we looked, and we could tie almost 90% of our clients back to hockey somehow, whether it was somebody I played with, whether it was somebody we coached, whether it was a referral from a hockey source. And the hockey community is a really tight-knit group, and the game was really good for me. And so I'm happy to see how the popularity of the sport continues to grow.
yeah, that's interesting. Really interesting. So tell us about what kind of law that you practice in.
I would say we're kind of a kickback to the old school where we're trial attorneys, we're litigators. So I do a lot of shareholder disputes, construction defect cases, infringement cases, done family law cases for primarily people that I've represented on the business side, where they have a business that's involved.
Okay.
But unlike a lot of firms now that specialize in just PI or just family law or whatever it may be, we do trial work. So which is great. I love being in the courtroom, and it's kind of unfortunate that, as you know, trial is somewhat of a dying creature. And I love having that responsibility that the clients entrust with us to put their case forward.
Yeah. I mean, why do you say it's a dying creature? I mean, I know a lot of times things settle, right, 95% of the time, but I mean, if you have a case that warrants going to the courtroom, as you go, right?
You do. And so I'm a board certified civil trial specialist, and you have to have taken a certain number of cases to trial and a certain number of recommendations, but you also have to pass an exam. And when I did my exam 6-7 years ago now, there was only one other attorney that had the sufficient trial credits to be able to take the board certification exam. And the reason I say unfortunate is I think that so often now litigation has become a war of attrition, that doesn't always mean that the best result is happening in a settlement. It's more of, well, do I have the funds to fight this? And if it's a David versus Goliath, right, you're trying to put David in the best position to get the best outcome. And I think technology can help level that playing field. I think preparing your case like it's going to go to trial,
Yeah.
in any case, gives your client the best chance of a favorable settlement. But it's just, you look at the numbers, the percentages. You said 95, other people say 97, some even 98, 99. It's very slim margin.
But so things like litigation financing, right? If there's a lot of cost involved, have you used that to leverage?
So we have not used it, and I'm very familiar with it. We have not used it. We've been fortunate in that, the clients have been able to put their portion of it, and we haven't had to delve into that. I know you could probably ask 5 or 6 different people and you get 5 or 6 different answers on what they think about litigation financing.
Most say no. It's interesting. I mean, when I ask that question, most say they don't.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. And I would think for smaller firms, again, you have a big case and you talk about the capital constraints and a war of attrition. I mean, that allows you to go further. You give up some of the upside, but you can still, continue to fight the case.
Yeah, and I think there's some really interesting, complex ethical issues there too, on who's driving the bus then, really.
Right.
Is it, are you making decisions in the best interest for the client's case? When you have that litigation financing on board, it's an interesting area. I think it's still continuing to develop because almost every month you see some new article in one of the bar magazines about the ethical implications of it.
Oh, interesting. I haven't heard. It's funny. I haven't heard that. I mean, the way I look at it, I've talked to some of the bigger ones that are in the business, and they underwrite it like a lender, right? They underwrite the case because they were lawyers, and if they think it has merits, then they'll extend financing.
It's basically like gambling on it.
But it isn't more like lending. Is it gambling or is it?
Well, you're taking a calculated risk that you're tying your cart to the right horse, right? Because if you don't win, most of them, if you don't win, you're not getting paid.
Right, but which means that's kind of self-policing. So you have to really be diligent and underwrite it correctly.
100, yeah, 100%.
I was a former lender at one point. It's sort of the way you look at it, right? But anyway, I'm just curious because you're talking about leveraging technology and having enough gas in the tank to sort of finish the race.
Well, you can definitely tell that depending on what the case is and depending on the size of the firm on the other side, discovery has been that pressure point for in most cases. It's become the most expensive part of the litigation is document request after document request after document request.
Okay.
Or the war of attrition on experts, and needing to retain an expert for each piece, and getting into this battle of the experts is really where it seems like those are the 2 principal areas that it's come down to. Because once you're in the courtroom for trial or for a hearing, for instance, right, you can only argue one motion at a time. At trial, you can only present one witness at a time, you only give one opening statement at a time. And that's discovery and experts has really seen where that's kind of been the big battlefield on the costs.
Got it. So give me what are typical, if there is such a thing, typical cases that you would work on?
Shareholder disputes. So do a lot of, whether it be a claim for breach of fiduciary duty, usurpation of corporate opportunity, really where, so when I say small business, I'm meaning, not publicly traded, right?
Yeah.
They could be, we've had some where the business at stake is billions, but it's closely held. Then construction defect cases on both sides. I have a large general contractor that I represent that does senior living throughout the United States.
Okay.
Either defending the construction defect claims, or I've done on the residential side where you're bringing the claims against the builder. And then I would say family law involving businesses. So that's where we got started on it, was representing, Jonathan and his shareholder dispute, and then Jonathan has control of the business, and Jonathan and wife get divorced, and wanting to make sure that the business doesn't become a fatality of the divorce. And I've found that most of the family law clients really appreciate that business knowledge or background from a divorce standpoint.
Got it. Is there any one big case that sort of stands out that you worked on?
Well, I have one right now in the pipe that's a patent infringement case that is $17 billion plus case.
Oh
And
boy.
Yeah, it will be a big battle.
Okay. And you're defending the patent holder?
Yeah, bringing the infringement claim. Yep.
Oh, you're bringing the infringement claim. Okay, got it. So
Yeah.
you work both sides of the fence, right? Plaintiff and defense?
Yeah, although I would say, I would say that it's probably 70% plaintiff work, 30% defense side.
Okay.
Most of the time, that most of the defense work is for the corporate clients that we represent, in which, there's like the construction defect claim,
Yeah.
or if there's an employment related issue. For instance, I have representing a company that does a lot of work with Amazon, does the deliveries, and
Yeah.
they have a wrongful termination claim that we have right now. So it's the defense work is primarily for our reoccurring corporate clients.
Okay. Were you offense or defense as a hockey player?
Center, so offense.
Yeah, so you want to be on the plaintiff side.
Yeah, 100%. I like if it were my choice, although technically, both come in equal under the law, right? I would rather be the one that gets to speak first and last, and present your case first, and throw your facts on the table first. But I think it's probably that more aggressive mindset.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
There's a real correlation, I think, between like sports athletes and that kind of work.
100%. And I think that hockey background, you learn to work as a team. You learn to whether it be your assistant or paralegal, or your client, because with the hockey background, it's if everybody's not rowing in the same direction, you're not going to go anywhere.
Right.
So I love it. I think it's a great background. I really enjoy working with people who also have a sports background, because it's got kind of that same mentality of it doesn't matter if I get the credit or you get the credit, as long as we win.
Yeah, there you go. I like that. That's good. That's good stuff. What about your dad? What's his background? You're in practice with him.
Yeah, so he actually went to school on a golf scholarship to the University of Minnesota, and then he went to Creighton Law School, and he and my mom got married young, and my dad was at a big firm at the time. And when the year I was born, 1981, he opened up his own firm at that point.
Okay.
And he has had that firm since. And there's been, different partners involved and associates involved, but it's he's had his own firm for now 42 years. And he has got the same kind of sports. Doesn't matter if I get the credit, you get the credit, as long as we're getting the best result for the client. And I figured out real early. So I clerked here at our firm in law school, and the day I passed the bar, the next day I took a deposition, which in a lot of big firms you wouldn't be able to do. And
right. Yeah.
I figured out real early that in going to watch him in depositions and hearings, he's a damn good lawyer. And I figured there wasn't anybody that I could learn more from than him, and that there wasn't anybody that was going to put more into teaching me than him, because he obviously had a vested interest in it being his son and, you know, soon to be law partners. So it's been great. We always say 99% of the time it's great, which gives us 3 or 4 days a year to hate each other. But,
Yeah.
it's awesome. I couldn't think of a better person to want to practice law with.
Oh, that's terrific. So you're watching the Masters?
You know, so we don't golf as much now because I have 2 small kids, right? And it's golf's a lot, but we watch it. And one of the best trips I know that he ever went on was he went and watched the Masters with my grandpa, his dad, who's still he's 90, he's in his 90s. He still golfs almost every day, can shoot his 8.
No.
And they went to his dad served in the military, and he did basic training down there in Georgia. And so when they went to the Masters, they went to the fort so that my grandpa could show them, and they get there, and you know, they have the guards there, and the guard said, "Oh, what are you guys here for?" And my grandpa said, "Oh, we wanted to, you know, see where I did basic and show my son." And it's like, "Oh, who was president when you did basic?" He said, "Abraham Lincoln." The kid just right over his head, right? And,
No clue.
that's cool. Come on in, yeah. So he loves telling that story, that's when they went to the Masters, and the century thought he was doing basic during Abraham Lincoln's time.
That's hilarious. It was
Yeah.
funny. I played golf with a friend of mine who was he's Canadian. He was a good really good hockey player. He didn't go as far as you, but he was very good. And I used to play golf with him, and he would drive the ball a mile. It's like hitting a slap shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of hockey players are really good golfers. Lot of carryover in the swing and
Yeah.
you know, with the hips and everything. So it's we sponsor, there's Teed Up for the Troops that's out here, and we sponsor holes every year and bring out a couple groups, and that's fun because you get to bring, you know, some clients and friends out, and
Yeah.
it's for a great cause. And but my grandpa, it's pretty impressive that he's still out there, you know, shooting under his age, and he loves the sport.
That's amazing. I played a couple weeks ago with a guy. I knew he was older. I didn't want to ask him. That we started talking, and he was 89, and he was hit the ball right down the middle every time.
Yep. It's smooth as steady, right?
Oh yeah.
They might not be able to drive it 300 yards anymore, but everything is right in the middle.
Yep. I think he scored better than I did, but everything was right down the middle. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
So your dad was your influence, why you became a lawyer. Was there any other reason why you decided to become a lawyer?
I think my dad primarily, you know, watching him, and so my stepmom's also our office manager, and so it's obviously a family business.
Oh, good.
My mom's you know, she had her own business, so I had on both sides, I had parents who were business owners, and I love that mentality. You know, you depend on yourself for, you know, kind of the eat what you kill mentality, right? I got to get up and I got to work, and it's on me to provide for my family. And I love that attitude and mentality of it's on you, and you're not dependent on somebody else. But seeing my dad, he loves practicing law, and I'll at some point probably have to carry him out in the wood box, and somebody will probably have to carry me out in the wood box. And I think that's, if you can find that in your profession, it's not like you're working. It's you truly enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, it's a good segue. I was going to ask you, like, you know, what are the traits you think that make a great lawyer? And actually, I mean, you found it, right? It's just kind of a natural thing, but I mean, what would you tell somebody who was thinking about a career in law?
I think you have to be able to, I think the biggest thing is you have to be able to communicate, whether it be communicating with your client, communicating with the court, communicating with the jury. Clients, I think when you look at a lot of the ethics issues and complaints, it's generally because attorneys aren't communicating with their client and keeping them informed of what's going on and what the case is. But I also think you have to be competitive. I liken it to a goalie in hockey or a relief pitcher in baseball. You might not win every motion or every case, but you have to have that confidence and competitiveness in yourself to keep swinging, right? And giving the best effort you can for your client. Because if you're not competitive and you're not confident in yourself, the law can be very humbling at times too. It can be very rewarding, but it can also be very humbling in that you think, hey, I got the greatest facts. There's no way we couldn't win on this. And a jury sees it a different way. And we all know how unpredictable juries can be.
Oh, yeah. So talk about that a little bit. How do you get ready for jury trial? What's your approach?
So what whether it's a small document case or a heavy document intensive case, I've looked at everything because if you're not prepared, I think you can be surprised. And when we take on a case, we develop a theme right from the start that you want to be consistent with. That if you can't explain your case in a couple sentences or 30 seconds, whatever it may be, it's going to be hard for you to be able to keep a jury's or a court's attention throughout the entirety of the trial, right? Because you've been living in this case, your clients have been living in this. So I think developing that consistent theme and then preparation is the key, I think, to everything. And that it's knowing what's in the documents, having your game plan on which witness order you want, which documents you're getting in through each witness. I mean, we have, you have your exhibit list that you file with the court, for instance, but we have, then we have our exhibit list that here's exactly which witness we're getting it in with, or going to try and get it in with. And on the other side, here's the evidentiary objections that you have to each exhibit that the other side's trying to get into. So rather than fumbling around in court, you have it, right there at your fingertips to be able to rely on.
How much technology do you use in the courtroom?
A lot. And, so yesterday, for instance, I had a motion hearing that was hour and 15 minutes away. I'm driving up there. The other side filed something while I was driving saying for this, and this reason, we think the motion can't be heard. And every hearing I go to, I have two tablets that, one that I can use for exhibits or whatever, and the other for an outline. Well, because I had those with me, I was able to pull up the cases that showed that this position was wrong. The judge started out the hearing saying, Mr. Schwartz, I believe Mr. So-and-so is right. And we're not going to, I said, actually, Judge, here's the cases. He said, well, can you give me the citations? I said, yep. So we sat there for 5-10 minutes while the judge read the cases. He said, I was wrong. Mr. Schwartz was right. And actually, so the motion's going forward. But without that technology, right, without my, the tablets and being able to get on Westlaw and pull up the cases, my motion wouldn't have been heard.
There you go. Are you doing video presentations too when you're with your jury?
So we on some, we don't do PI work, for instance, where I think you would see a lot more of the presentation.
Yeah.
But I think that utilizing it on key documents, for instance, where you can be able to pull out the excerpt that is important and highlight it for the jury, because most of the juries don't want to look at a 52-page document, right? They want,
sure,
here's the paragraph. Where I would say maybe 5-10 years ago, it was blow-ups where you had the big whiteboard blow-up. Now, a lot of the courtrooms right in front of the jurors have the screen, so you can put that excerpt right up in front of the jury. That's where I think in most of our litigation, with it being shareholder litigation or defect litigation, it's very document intensive.
Yeah.
Instead of expecting a jury to be able to comb through that entire document, being able to put it up on the screen right in front of them.
Got it. I mean, the key, right, obviously, is to simplify it, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah. Yep. I think that now we have, I mean, almost every juror at some point has probably watched some CSI or, and for some crime show that they're expecting kind of that forensic moment or that whatever it is. And you're not going to have that in every shareholder dispute case or construction defect case. But if we can keep their attention and keep it, especially with technology, because we're all so tied to our phones or iPads or whatever it might be, it keeps them engaged.
Got it. So is it just the three of you in your firm? Do you have more lawyers?
It's two lawyers. My stepmom's our office manager. She's not an attorney. And then we have our assistants.
Okay.
We have at different points, we've had associates or have been, looking at hiring it. But the reason our clients come to us is they want to work with me or they want to work with Michael.
Okay.
All our clients have our cell phones, call on nights or weekends, whatever it might be. And we have corporate clients that could work with whoever they wanted to. And have said, the reason we switch from a big firm, for instance, is we have that personal attention that we didn't get at, global firm. We want to be able to, if I have a question on the weekend, I want to be able to call you, not wait until Tuesday and get an email back from somebody I've never met.
Right. Okay. So your plan is to stay, small and manage it that way.
Personally, I think so. I know you kind of cap yourself, right? There's only so many hours in the day that you can work, but I love the practice. I love going to battle with the client, and I don't want to be managing 10 or 20 other lawyers. I want to be doing it. I want to be in it, in the arena, going to battle.
Yeah, interesting. Very good. Do you use case management software and those kind of things to stay connected?
So we have, we use primarily Microsoft products on it.
Okay.
We have Latte, and then we have a billing system. So we've kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, jumbled together.
Yeah.
Different technology that we've, that works for us right now.
Oh, good. Excellent. Yeah, no, I mean, I hear that a lot. It's the same in any business, right? Staying connected to your customer, your client, whatever it is like really important. And a lot of people don't do that very well. So I think
Well, and it's, as you know, it's constantly developing and constantly changing. And you look at everything that's going on right now with like ChatGPT, right? And and what it's being used for and what they're trying to I don't know, harness or reins that they're trying to put on it.
Yeah. What do you think about that, ChatGPT?
It's it's interesting. It's kind of scary on the one hand.
Yeah.
And how far it can go. And when you have, I think it was it 2,000 of these kind of the biggest, brightest minds write this letter saying we need to put a pause on it.
Yeah.
And then on the other hand, you can see a lot of benefits on the information that it can help a business get to make decisions moving forward. I don't know what the right answer to that is.
Yeah.
Where you fall, it's very interesting.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think my gut tells me we'll figure out a way to use it effectively. I think people were scared initially with just AI, the concept, but people are embracing it now.
I think you're probably right. I think we have obviously some really brilliant people who are, that's all they're working on is AI and developing it and to use it for useful goods and useful reasons. I do think that, you know, it gives a different answer, right? Than if you type something in the chat GPT is saying, hey, tell me what the law is on this state of construction defects. It can give you an answer versus on Google where it gives you websites to look at.
Right.
It's taking it, you know, a couple steps, if not multiple steps forward.
Yeah. No, it's very interesting. I think we'll find some use cases for it that are not dangerous. I mean, I know when you play it to the limit, that's what people are worried about now.
Have you used it?
A little bit, yeah, sure. Played around with it, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing how many different use cases there are for it, like in all kinds of verticals. You know, music, healthcare, law. I know, you know, document creation. I mean, you're right. It takes Google like to the next many levels further.
Well, and I think so with I have two daughters, 6 and 4.
Yeah.
You know, when you look at the impact that will have on them, you know, where do you stop on write me a paper that's 500 words that is blah, blah, where, you know, you and I'm 42. Our research was like in an encyclopedia.
Oh,
right?
yeah. I mean, I definitely did. Trust me.
You didn't get to type it into some search engine and it would spit out a paper. So I know that's been one of the really big battles as to how they can make sure that a student's paper is not just chat GPT written.
Right. I think it allows people to do higher level thinking, right? It's like, you know, the whole outsourcing movement, right? It's like, why should we spend our time doing data entry when I can outsource that? And then I can do the more critical thinking task.
Yep.
Similar things. Like, why do I need to recreate the same document? I can get started and then I can add my intelligent layer to it.
Which, yeah, and it's the same thing with you know, if you look at, for instance, the law, right, is I don't necessarily want somebody that could cite me every statute, but I want somebody that knows where to go look to find the answer to it.
There you go.
And chat GPT or some of this other AI is that's a tool that you can use to find that answer for you.
Right. That's tool. I think that's the right word. Yeah. Anyway, we'll see where it goes for sure.
It's for sure interesting.
Yeah. So just final words you want to leave with the audience about your firm and best way to connect.
So we're all referral based. We don't advertise, and I think it says a lot that, you know, we're in a spot where we can kind of pick and choose on cases and make sure it's a good fit. I mean, we want to make sure it's a good fit for us, but more importantly, a good fit for the client, because they need to be confident in who they're hiring to, in most instances, handle what's probably the most difficult thing in their life going on, or their business going on with litigation. But all our information's at our website, which is schwartzlawfirmpa.com.
Okay.
Or you could Google Schwartz Law Firm Minnesota. I know there's a couple other Schwartz Law Firms around the country, but it's, you know, we love the practice. We love being able to have that trust that our clients put in us to go to battle or to war for.
Excellent. Good. Well, it was fun to spend time with you. And again, for everybody, Brandon Schwartz at Schwartz Law Firm. And this is sponsored by EmotionTrac, which is a legal tech platform that helps litigators prepare for mediation trials with our Insights platform. Thank you, Brandon. Good stuff. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Bet.